Hello, everyone, and welcome to very special episode of Humans of Pharma. I'm your host, Pape from PharmaState Academy. Today, we are diving into one of the hottest topics shaping our industry: artificial intelligence in pharma sales and marketing. AI is no longer a buzzword. It's already transforming how medical representatives engage with doctors, how companies plan brands, and even how business decisions are made. And to explore this, we have with us Mr. Moses Gomes, an AI generalist and strategic growth leader who has been at the forefront of transforming pharma engagement with technology. Welcome to
Thank
the
you.
Humans of Pharma, Moses sir. We are so happy to have you with us today.
And let's start with couple of questions and some use case about AI and pharma and what is my perception, what is going to happen.
Let's begin with something everyone in pharma can relate to: the role
Hmm,
of the medical representative. It's
hmm,
been the backbone of doctor engagement for decades, but with
hmm,
AI coming in, things are
hmm,
changing fast. So tell
hmm.
me, how is AI transforming the role of a medical representatives today?
Now think about it this way. Medical rep spends at least 5 hours per day, per week. That accounts to 20 hours per week to plan which all doctors they will be meeting that particular week. Why they have to plan every point in time when they have to meet the specific number of doctors every time? It's a repetitive task. You have Google Maps, and Google Maps can get connected with your CRM software, and it will automatically plan the journey based on the distance, based on the closest spot, and also based on when the doctor will be at that particular clinic or that particular hospital. If the doctor is visiting a certain hospital at a certain time, the AI will tell ki since hospitals do not allow medical reps to meet doctors, it will give the second best option is meeting the doctor at 8 o'clock in the evening at a certain clinic where the medical rep can meet the doctor. So the entire journey can get plotted automatically for the entire month. Also, the medical rep has an option to select or deselect or to edit it. Now, within 2 minutes, the entire plan is ready for the week. So 20 hours saved. Think in that fashion. Now, on top of that, every weekly and every monthly, the medical rep has to file the expense report. Visit from this doctor's clinic to this doctor, then to this doctor. When you have a Google lat long, which can plot you the kilometer range from HQ to the doctor clinic, then second doctor clinic, third doctor clinic, automatically the expense software can have the calculation this point to this point visit per kilometer, say 2 rupees or say 10 rupees, 3 kilometers, 3 into 10 rupees is 30 rupees. End of story. The rep also does not need to edit it. So again, 10 to 15 hours saved. So ideally speaking, per rep, you are saving around say 30 to 40 hours per month. Now, 30 to 40 hours per month. And imagine you have a force of say 5,000 or 10,000 medical reps. What is the number of hours that a pharma company is wasting right now? And what amount of money the pharma company is? So, cost of opportunity. So, they're paying for cost of opportunity. If they implement AI, they will be using those 45 hours per month of that reps time to build better relationships and meet more doctors or find more doctors.
Thank you very much. I think our audience will be very happy to know that they'll get some insightful information from this session. And let's move on to the next question. Beyond representatives, companies are also experimenting with digital tools like chatbots. WhatsApp, for example, is already a big hit in consumer engagement. How do
Hmm.
you see WhatsApp chatbots adding value inside pharma organizations, maybe in HR training, or even L&D and operations? What's your take on this?
My take is, except for those salespeople who are using WhatsApp chatbot to build some relationship with patients or doctors, they are not actually using it to prioritize or to save or increase productivity. So in a pharma company, if you go to the HR department, you will find at least three, four people sitting the entire day and managing queries of all the medical teams. While this, all the queries can be addressed using a WhatsApp chatbot. Everybody has a WhatsApp chatbot. This is a HR chatbot where they can ask questions right from whether my expenses has been paid or how many leave balance I have, what happened to this leave, why it is not getting approved, and the chat will respond where everything is stuck up. The chat will also have quizzes which will ask the medical rep about a new product to understand whether they can answer it. A medical rep can answer it by typing out, or medical rep can just record their voice and send it to the WhatsApp chatbot. The chatbot will know the level of understanding the medical rep has about the new product, and then can send bite-sized learning pieces to the personalized training at scale. You don't need to conduct a webinar where you get people to sit like a classroom and get them to focus for an hour, because everybody has a different mindset towards learning. I might take say 5 minutes of learning and everything goes into my mind. Somebody might not be able to focus. So everybody needs to have a different journey. And even a simple WhatsApp chatbot, it's not even an AI enabled. I'm saying it's a pretty simple rule based WhatsApp chatbot that can be set up. And there are pharma companies also in India who have done this kind of execution for WhatsApp chatbot, where all the employees' queries are resolved by WhatsApp chatbot, and they have saved. So imagine saving at least say 60K per month, 60 to 70K per month, just by having WhatsApp chat. And imagine in a year what is the amount that you are saving? 6 to 7 lakhs, and a chatbot can be enabled and launched with half that amount, and you don't need to do anything with it. Next year, it goes on year. So whether the medical rep wants to ask about कितना लीव बचा है, or medical rep wants to know the expenses, or medical rep wants to know something else, or they want to know about some particular whether they have a leave in Orissa or say in Calcutta on that particular day because of some festival. You don't need to check also the HRMS portal. You just ask whether I have leave, I am from, and the WhatsApp chatbot knows the person, the employee, from their employee ID, from their location. The WhatsApp chatbot has all the details. So when the chatbot is responding, it will connect with the HRMS, pull the data and send it to that particular person, which is relevant to the person. They want a pay slip. They want 3 months pay slip. They want 3 months pay slip. Why the hell they have to go to the HR and ask for it? They can retrieve using WhatsApp chatbot. If they want to take up a loan and they want some documents, they can apply the documents via chatbot, and the tickets can be aligned over there. Why if somebody wants that? Okay, you go on the desktop portal, and after going into the desktop portal, go into the 10th section ka fifth subsection, and then you do this, and they are wondering how to fill this. Okay, the AI and chatbot needs to adapt to humans. Humans shouldn't start adapting to AI or any particular machine. Gone are the days that we adapt towards a machine to understand what to do. The age has come when machines will understand humans and they will do as that particular person wants. So again, losses. So first told you about how they are wasting per medical reps time of 40 hours per month, which is one loss. Second, they have 3 to 4 people in HR just to manage all the medical rep queries. Again, they are making losses per month, which can be shifted to Agentic, or there can be a better productivity given things that can be done.
Thank you, Moses sir. It's actually exciting to think about how AI tools these days can save real decisions
Hmm.
and save time of HR and people who are working in that department.
Hmm.
Okay, let's move on to the next question.
Hmm.
And that's actually a good point. So, and while chatbots are one touch point, the bigger picture is that doctor journey itself, if we zoom out, what does a
Hmm.
truly AI-enabled omni-channel doctor journey look like in pharma?
Right now, we are not enabling doctor to be in the driver's seat. What we are doing is the brand manager is sitting in the driver's seat and planning what they should do with the doctor. Think other way. Okay, if you get the doctor to sit in the driver's seat, every everybody has a different journey. Some people are more pro towards digital, some people are more pro towards physical. Some doctors are more pro towards events, some doctors are more pro towards reading research. Do you know your customer? Is the question. So planning omni-channel is the second thing. First thing is, do you know your customer? And if you do not know your customer, plotting what the customer journey is, where the customer is present, is the core thing. And once you have this thing, start feeding information about the doctor preferences. How many of the pharma companies have literally went to the doctor and asked them, sir, what do you want from you? What do you expect from us? Nobody is asking that. Everybody is going and telling thapak. Sir, see, this is the new product we have launched. That is not how marketing is done. Doctors are more technically and digitally fast forward than the rep. If the rep is going to talk in that fashion, they are not going to bear. It's not a credible thing to do. They have to be thought leaders, and for the rep to become a thought leader, you need to understand what the doctor wants, what is a doctor's journey, and then accordingly start engaging. Now there are multiple points a doctor can engage with you. It may be the detailing centers or the detailing time that the medical rep has. It can also be the emails, WhatsApp messages, SMSs that you send. It can also be the online webinars to say research content that you share to the doctors. It can also be doctor attending some association meetings where they come down to your stall, spoke to somebody, told about something, to the doctor attending some CMA program by the pharma company or the AdWord programs. There are multiple touch points, physical as well as digital. Are you capturing the doctor interactions over there? Are you using those interactions to plan the next journey for the doctor? Are you giving the doctor what the doctor is thinking right now? Unless you start thinking in that fashion and getting the doctor into driver's seat, this is not going to change. Just having some marketing automation platform or just having some CRM is not going to change, because those are just platforms or tools. Those platforms and tools need to be fed with the right data. Then your goal will change. There are companies who are doing exceptionally well job in this. Even Indian companies are doing exceptionally great job, but not in India. They're doing it in Europe. So Indian companies who are in Europe or US doing exceptionally great work when it comes to marketing and engaging omnichannel. But when it comes to India, somehow the teams are different and they work in silos. It does not work in that much. So for a digital,
Okay.
for omni-channel journey, the core thing is start understanding your core customers, start understanding your customers, and get them into the driver's seat. Only then your omni-channel can succeed.
Okay, so I was saying that you actually delivered a very strong message to our representatives working in pharma sales and marketing area.
Hmm.
So we have talked about representatives and doctor journeys. Let's
Hmm.
go one step further.
Hmm.
Many companies today talk about next best decision, helping
Hmm.
representatives know what to do when and with whom.
Again, going back to my earlier answer, unless you understand your customer, unless you have an enriched list about your customer, predicting next best action is not going to work. A next best action predictor only depends upon the historic data and persona of the customer. Do you know what your customers like, dislike? If you do not know, how you are going to predict the next best action? So next best action, how it works as an overlay platform and the thought process is you have doctor lists. On top of that, you have an overlay of their social conversations and everything. On top of that, you have an overlay of medical rep insights about whatever medical rep has met the doctor during detailing what the doctor has told. On top of that, then medical rep will also fill the persona of what they think the doctor is, doctor's thought process and everything. Now you use an AI, an agentic AI, to create personas of different doctors and then create clusters of those particular set of doctors. You might have a different doctors in the same cluster at different locations also. So one doctor from Delhi, one doctor from Ahmedabad and Bombay can become a part of one single cluster because they have the same kind of thought process. They love cricket, they love stock market trading, they are more research oriented pro, they are present on Facebook, they post about whenever they go for association meetings. So you classify them into a single persona. Then you know that okay, the doctor is a prescriber or non-prescriber. The doctor is conservative or an open-minded innovator. You classify those doctors accordingly, and then you start engaging. So if the doctor is an innovator, a leader, then what happens is usually whenever you have to launch a new drug into the market or a brand into the market, you approach the innovators, because innovators will always try new things. They want to try and understand whether this particular medication works or doesn't work. A conservative doctor will not ever try it. So pitching the new medication or brand to a conservative doctor is a waste of time. So you might have, say, 10,000 doctors who you have to reach, but the innovator doctors will be always 100 to 200. So first target this 100 to 200 doctors as a focused approach for 6 months, see what impact happens, and use these 200 doctors to then land and market amongst to the 10,000 doctors. And when you're doing that, as the next best action, then the predictive engine works. So the predictive engine will take into account all these particular data points and will predict whether it is SFE to tell them about the doctor clusters which they need to focus and guide the medical rep, or the medical rep that, okay, you're meeting this doctor. Last time the doctor spoke about this to you because it was recorded during that particular discussion into the microphone of the CRM. The CRM recorded it and it transcribed it. Now it will tell you today you need to discuss these two questions with the doctor and talk about this particular. So the conversation is a continuous conversation, and doctor will feel related and part of this particular journey. Otherwise, every time you go to the doctor and talk about, sir, please prescribe, sir, please prescribe, it is not going to work because that is people do not want to be sold. People want to buy. So
Mm.
next best action predictor will work when you have an enriched doctor's data only.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. That's a
Uh,
great point. Like most of the people have been using AI copilots alongside representatives. So, in your view, what role can these copilots play in empowering representatives across training, compliance, and sales?
So going back to my first and second question, okay, the answers for the first and second question. Co-pilots are essential, but I do not really think that whether it is international or domestic pharma company, anybody is using co-pilot to that extent. And let alone co-pilots. Out of the entire pharma company and the number of people they have, less than 1% are using even ChatGPT because they're clueless about why they should be using, how they should be using, and whether compliance will allow. Now, the worst part is ChatGPT free version people are using it, but they do not know if you're using a free version of ChatGPT, then ChatGPT is going to track their all the data. So they need to have an enterprise license so the ChatGPT will not track the data. And if there is something which is very crucial and intellectual property, then there should be an LLM model inside the company premises, which the company employees will use it. They cannot use an external LLM model. But being clueless, that's part one, and being adamant is part two, that a lot of pharma companies compliances do not want to study and understand how to implement it. Hence they are thinking better not implement it. So even if the brand managers or anybody else wants to use it, they are unable to use this tool. And unless it comes from the leadership, pharma company is not going to go to the next step. And there are all the health tech companies who are taking over. There are nutrition health tech companies and everybody who are coming into this space using AI to engage with doctors. So the main thing is, as a question, the question, Indian pharma does not use co-pilots as far as I understand. And
Okay.
in Indian pharma, people are not aware about ChatGPT because nobody knows what is the compliance role. So we are right now at stage, like we are at the start, while most of the companies, whether it is say beverage, FMCG, any of these sectors, they are literally at 50th version. In a scale of 1 to 100, they are passing 50 to 60 points when it comes to AI and agentic implementation. Pharma is just at the verge of 1 or 2%, maybe less than that. Huh. When it comes to research and all, there are AI implementations happening. But when it comes to marketing or sales, I don't think AI is implemented. Supply chain also is also using AI to a larger extent in pharma industry. Supply chain, or say to some extent distribution planning, or to a large extent into research and everything, AI has been used predominantly in India.
Okay. That's a very great, insightful information. We were talking about this AI in pharma sales and marketing representatives. So,
Hmm,
like, pharma is drowning in dashboards. So,
hmm.
in your opinion, how should companies decide which data actually matters for business decisions?
So there are two ways to approach this. One is you know what is that you want, and then you track only that data. That is one thing that you sort. Another way is you do not know what data matters. Then you use an agentic copilot or agentic platform, and then you get the agentic platform to create clusters of the data. So they, the ones who feed the data to agents or to AI and ask the AI to create clusters of the data, it will plot clusterization of the data. Once you have a clusterization of data and insights of the clusters, then you know what data matters and what data does not matter. Then you start extrapolating the data, what matters to you, and you delete the data what does not matter to you. And then you start digging around and plotting the data what matters. So slowly you will
ये छह
come
मिनट फिर से
across to that zone where you have relevant data points and insights. And then you know that only track this data because it makes sense. This data does not make sense. But knowing all these things are done by people who are not even data scientists, are done by PhD statisticians. I do not, I haven't met any PhD statistician working in a pharma company. So if the pharma company wants to understand about data, it is not a SFU or not even a strategy person who can understand the data. For this kind of work, you need at least people at the caliber of PhD statisticians, say 5 to 10 PhD statisticians along with MSc statisticians who have worked on data and who can make a sense out of this data. Then you can start plotting how you want the data streaming to be done and then use AI to create and then to plan. Because right now everybody is going on a wave of obesity-led brands that okay, we will launch drugs in the area of obesity, but there are another 10 categories which are also growing, but nobody's focusing on that. So everybody is focusing on this sector is giving me 1,000 crore or for 2,000 crore is what this whole industry is. I will launch something and I'll get a pie out of it. But there are other areas which are 500 and 600 crore where nobody's focusing. You can get the entire pie if you know. But for that, you have the data, you do not know what to do.
yes
Okay.
that's true
So it's like going in a wave pool and dancing along with the wave. Instead of standing out and thinking which wave you have to, or whether you have to go into that pool or you shouldn't go into the pool. Right now,
yes
everybody is going into the wave pool because there's some noise happening.
that's actually interesting to know that like statistician professions can be
Yeah.
yes. So like as we talk about the AI copilots, I'm
Hmm.
actually curious like how can AI tools like ChatGPTs make brand planning not just smarter but also more creative and effective? Do you think ChatGPT will be useful in this?
So there are different tools when it comes to LLM, whether it is Claude, ChatGPT, Grok, DeepSeek. You have to decide which tools are suitable to you. Okay. Point number two, stop using free versions. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
because free versions will never give you what they're supposed to give. You think that you are getting more than enough. That is just the 1%. If you go for paid version, it will give you 100%. Point number three is if you're using a paid version, it will not track your data. Okay, it will just use the learning model, but it will not use your data because your data is essential. And as per compliance, if you're working for a company, there is some compliance documents that you have signed. By using ChatGPT, you use yourself are giving out the data externally. Now coming to how it can be used, using efficient prompt engineering and agentic chatbots. You can create instructional chatbots where you feed whatever information, whether it is data or whether it is say plans or something, and get ChatGPT to become a critic of your plan. So tomorrow you might be thinking about three ideas. You ask ChatGPT to give me six more ideas. Now tell the ChatGPT to become a critic and tell me why these plans will not work. You need some critic before you approach your senior management that these ideas are going to work. So who is there? Who is the mentor? Who is the critic? So use GPT or AD Claude or any tool to become a critic. Then a lot of times people wonder, ki, okay, what should be the image cues? How should be the image? I do not suggest that create image using ChatGPT, but what I suggest is debate with ChatGPT to get different image cues. What are the suggestions to create an image for this kind of collateral? What are the suggestion to create image for this kind of collateral? At least it will give you some indicative thoughts, which you can discuss with your designer. Okay, these are the indicative thoughts that this thing looks this way, this thing looks this way. Can you look at this particular concept? So it will give you concepts. Now, when it comes to scripting and everything also, so the entire thing is you need to know how to create the context setting for ChatGPT, how to write that prompt, how to write, how to tell ChatGPT what they need to do. So a lot of times people will say that, okay, do a SWOT analysis of this campaign. Why you have to do SWOT analysis? Why not use some other principles? So there are different principles in management. Porter 5 laws, or say Tau's signal, or say Pester law. There are different analysis tools. Understand what analysis tools is suitable for your particular plan and use it to analyze it. Instead of just everybody doing SWOT analysis, it will not work. So knowing how to use ChatGPT is a different skill altogether because
Okay.
ChatGPT understands prompts. The better you are at prompt, the better is the delivery.
Yes, I actually believe that. Like, ChatGPT is like a mirror. Whatever you say, like if the prompts are good, if you're good at prompting, then
Hmm.
your result will be good. Like it's a garbage in, garbage out. If you put garbage, then you'll get garbage. But if you're good at prompting, then you'll get good results. So prompting is really important in using
Because
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT does not know who it is. You have to tell
Exactly.
ChatGPT, you are a vigilance person with topper at Delhi University, with 10 years of experience working in this area, with experience and doing all this work. So create a persona and then tell the persona what you want and give a sample. Then it will deliver.
Okay, so do you think like there's a alternative AI, free AI tool that the farmer representatives can use, farmer sales and marketing professionals can use, apart from this ChatGPT and Gemini, to reach out the HCP, keeping track with the doctor? Is there any AI that will be useful for these professionals?
There is nothing that is free in the world. No?
Mm-hmm.
Even if you
Yes,
go to buy medicines, you have to pay. So when you have to use some tool, you have to pay for that tool to get the benefit. Free versions
yeah,
will never give you what they are supposed to give you. But a lot of
exactly.
times, see, lot of understand this. ChatGPT or Claude is mimicking the human brain. So when you give a prompt, it gives you something out. You are like, oh my God, it gave me this thing. Okay. It is just mimicking you
Mhm.
and which is giving you an awe-inspiring experience. It is not delivering you what it should deliver because it's still the free version. It will deliver you the
Yes.
results when you go to the paid version because that is when it will literally work for you. Right now, it is just mimicking you and giving you a aura effect. कि, see, it's very great. You're getting this because earlier there was no such tool that used to give you this. No,
Mm-hmm.
used to do just Google search and get the results. Now it is telling you that do this thing, do that thing, that thing. You are wondering, oh my God, it is telling me what I should do. It is just mimicking you because out of those 10 results, 8 results you would have thought in your mind somewhere or the other. So you
Mm-hmm.
are happy and you use that input, output.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much for your insightful information. And finally, we have reached the last question.
Hmm.
Let's touch on something from the consumer world.
Hmm.
Social listening has been used for consumer brands, tracking trends,
Hmm.
spotting behavior shifts. How can pharma use the same approach to track disease trends or prescribing behavior?
Uh, for this particular thing, there needs this pharma industry needs to think about like a, having command centers for social listening, and they need to use those tools and scan across different geographies across India or globally. That, for example, India geography, if you're considering, then consider different states and what is happening, what are the search volumes that's happening, everything pertaining to healthcare. So think about it this way. Punjab had floods. Okay. Once the floods will go, then because of all the things and all the garbage and everything, there will be some of the other disease patterns that will start arising. People will start asking queries on Google with symptoms. Are you tracking what symptoms are coming out over there? And are those symptoms related to the therapy that you're marketing? Knowing this strategy and then starting to meeting those doctors with that particular therapy will give you better results. Right now, the patients are going to doctors with symptoms or checking on Google, and when their doctor is taking some decision and telling the pharmacist, okay, give this prescription, or patients directly going to the pharmacist and getting the prescription, then you suddenly come to know that this particular thing is moving. That you realize after a month's time when you see some monthly reports. And then you realize, okay, let us tell all our reps and train them to do this. You should start doing it the second day itself. Why wait for this 20, 30 days to get a report? Because this is where social surveillance is playing a role. What all things you can track? You can track social conversations. You can track Google searches. There are multitude of things that you track. And today also, even if somebody is sitting in, say, Bhubaneswar or Kakinada at some particular place, they also have a mobile phone. And whenever you face any difficulty, the first thing people do is not go on ChatGPT and type out the symptoms. They will type the symptoms on Google search to see ki what
Hmm.
Google is telling me what I should do. Are we
Yes,
on top of those searches? Are we creating clusters of those searches and creating a formula or a algorithm to say that this kind of algorithmic searches tells me that this is the disease that is going to hit in this particular area, means if I have this brand, then I need to focus in this area. And if there are other areas where this particular brand is not getting sold, I need to shift it to this particular distributor because there is a spike in demand that is going to happen in next 5 days. But what happens is by the end of the month, you will be running around, there is a spike in demand, but your transport will only start after 25 days when there's no requirement. And then you transport everything when there's no requirement. And yet, this is not something that you can do within 1 month. Social listening is an ongoing exercise. To create this kind of things also, the social surveillance and the model, the algorithm, it takes 12 months to 24 months because you need to identify trends. There are something, sometimes there are trend based. Like the floods in Punjab was a trend. It will not get repeated next year in the month of September first week. So next week, September first week, you shouldn't transport all your medicines to Punjab because flood happened this year. No, it does not happen every year. But there are some
hmm,
things that will keep on happening every year.
exactly.
So if CP is getting flooded every year on year in the month of July, then you know in the month of July CP is getting flooded for last 5 years. Next year it is also going to flood. What are the steps in medication I need to have over there as a plan?
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Actually, that really highlights like how one should not look on the just search on the Google for any symptoms. Like most of the people, they're self-diagnosing on Google,
Ah,
and nowadays people are using ChatGPT for that
hmm,
to self-diagnose. For every minor inconvenience, they search on
hmm,
ChatGPT.
hmm.
That's
That's
actually
right.
very insightful. And
Hmm,
that brings us to the end of this episode of Humans of Pharma. This conversation has been a very insightful and very informative. We have gone from AI co-pilots for representatives to chatbots in HR to chat GPTs for brand planning. And if it's clear, and it's clear, AI isn't just about the future, it's already changing pharma today. And also,
hmm,
like before we wrap up, Moses sir, if you had to give one piece of advice to pharma leaders who
hmm.
are still hesitant about adopting AI, what would it be?
They should quit. It's a big thing, but if you are thinking that you do not want or you cannot implement AI, there is somebody who's going to implement it. And once they implement it, either
Exactly.
your company sales will go down or either you are going to lose job. So either you embrace AI or you quit. Because if you see the industrial revolutions, okay, the way it has moved drastically. Okay. There were moments when pharma took time. It was okay. Somehow they were able to navigate. Right now, in the age where there are a lot of changes happening, okay, and those changes are so rapid changes that even before you think the change has been done. In this particular era, if you are still in September 2025, you are still thinking that whether I should implement AI, you are too late. There are already a lot of companies across sectors are already identified use cases, started working on the use case of implementing AI and started tracking the KPIs. Most of the companies will always have a AI leadership team, which a committee which is representative from each of the departments. They identify the use cases. They are the ambassadors in their departments. And once the use cases have been identified, at the leadership level, top 5 use cases are selected and our implementation needs has started. Because with
Yes.
DPDP, the DPDP is almost has been implemented. Okay, as of now it is not strict, but the fines are 200 CR. If tomorrow a doctor tells ki I am not part of their, I haven't given consent, why they are sending me this email or this WhatsApp message, If the case gets proven, there's a 200 crore loss. And using medrep is a high capex model. How many medreps you're going to have? There are 2 lakhs, 5 lakh doctor that you have to reach. How many medical reps you'll have? It's a high capex model, increasing the number of medical reps. You have to go digitally with using AI agents. That's a low capex model.
Thank you so much for your insightful information, sir. Sir,
Welcome.
also, as you know that we are organizing the Pharma Industry Town Hall second edition on theme Say Hi to AI, especially for pharma marketing and sales professionals. So, what message would you like to give them, like about the event?
The main message is every company should attend this event. Because if you're not thinking, then start thinking about what others are doing. And start thinking it's already September, you have next 4 months to go. What is that decision that you are going to take which will impact your 2026? So the event AI in Pharma by PharmaState is happening at the right time and the right moment. You have to send your employees and start getting them aware about AI and get them to embrace AI instead of running away from AI. Having employees who are going to run away from AI will pull your organization down. They are not going to let your organization grow. So
Exactly.
start fearing AI, start embracing AI. Stop fearing AI.
Thank you so much, sir. And thank you so much for joining us on Humans of Pharma today.
Thank
And
you.
and to everyone watching this video, if you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to follow Humans of Pharma and share this episode with your friends and colleagues. Keep learning, keep leading, and keep building the future of healthcare. Thank you, Moses, sir.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for tuning into Humans of Pharma. And until next time, keep learning, keep leading, and keep building the future of healthcare.